Hello folks, and welcome to another episode of Back to Basics Gardening, a series of videos aimed at the complete novice gardener. In this episode I'll be talking about tools for the job. Okay folks, the first tool for the job is a kettle. And you get the kettle on, make yourself a cuppa. That's the first tool. Now, as I was saying, this episode's going to be about the tools for the job. I've noticed on a lot of Facebook gardening pages, new allotment tiers, basically buying the wrong tools. So I'm going to teach us all about tools. Like the first tool for any gardener is your spade. As you can see, this one's been well used. I've been through many spades over the years. How many spades does a gardener need? As many as you can get. But my best advice for buying a spade is, now this is going to be your most trusty tool that you'll need. So it's worth investing in a good make, a good solid tool. Don't go into any of these cheap shops like Wilkinson's or wherever and see a spade. £6, I'll buy that. Don't. You'll buy them forevermore. They don't last 5 minutes. Especially the ones with the plastic join here. I've made the foolish mistake myself over the years. You think, oh, it's a brand new spade, get in, I'll get some work done, and then it just snaps. Now this spade here is, like I say, well used. It's ancient. It must be over 50 years at least. I got it off an old gardener who used it for years. But another little tip is, if you can't afford to go and get a decent spade from B&Q, you need to spend £40, something like that. But another little tip is, get yourselves to some car boot sales or like second-hand shops, stuff like that, because that's where you'll find the good spades. The old ones are the best because they're still used, So that's the first tool, your spade. Now you need that obviously for digging, and autumn and winter is the best time to dig using the spade. You want to get your soil turned over. It's the best way to get the roots out and all that. And like I say, invest in a decent spade and it'll last you for years. And then also another little tip during the winter, when it's too wet to dig, clean your tools, give them a good clean, sharpen up. Because if you look after your tools will look after you. So that's a spade, the gardener's best friend. And another tool is a fork. Now that's also used during the autumn and winter. When you're digging out and you've got like a load of couch grass and all that, all them roots and all that, give it a fork and over so you can lift out all of the roots. I wish it was a little bit drier, otherwise I'd demonstrate. But I'm sure I don't need to show you how to use a fork and a spade. Once again, these are the most important tools. So buy quality, or go to a car boot sale. See if you can find a good cheap one, but stay away from plastic handle ones that don't last 5 minutes. So like I say, your spade is for digging over the land and the fork is for getting out the roots. Now that's in the autumn and winter. There is other jobs during the summer which you do with a fork, but I'll get onto that later. Another tool that you need is a rake. That's another autumn winter tool, or basically whenever you can get on the ground to dig. So after you've dug the land and forked it over, you need to get it level. That's where the rake comes in. So you rake out one way and then do it diagonally the other way, like a cross hatch, and then you can get your ground level. And basically you're ready for planting after that. If you can notice, all of my tools are wood, solid, like, you know, hickory handle tools. They last for years. I mean, this one here, I'm lucky really, because I got most of my stuff given off at old allotment people, you know, they've died in the past and that, and I've inherited most of these. But when I did first started growing and getting my allotment, that's what I used to do. Go to second-hand shops, see what tools I can get for cheap, you know. So there's your first 3 tools that you need during the autumn and winter. Get your preparation done for the land, and then when it comes to spring, when everything starts growing again, obviously there will be weeds coming up in between your stuff. That's when you get the hoe. A nice good hoe, solid hoe, wood handle, and that's what you need to hoe down all them weeds before they start taking over during the spring and summer. And another little tip as well, for example, if you're planting onions, you're best off planting your onion so you've got your hoe there. You've got to think when the onion is where the size you want it, say about the size of a tennis ball. So you think when you've got your onion set there, or your onion seed, and it's ready to go out, so you think, right, I want a tennis ball sized onion. I plant it there, and then the other one goes about there, and that'll give you enough space to hoe in between the onions during the spring and that. Because there's nothing worse than putting them too close together and then you've got to like stretch over and get the weeds out like that, you know, that's a nightmare. You might think when you're first putting the onions in, when they're small and they're going like 12 inches apart or something, it's like, whoa, that's a waste of ground. But things need space to grow. So if you put your onion in, they'll not grow very big if you put them all together. If you plant them far enough apart, you'll get, you know, decent sized onions, and the airflow can get through them, etc. You know. So your hoe, that's another important tool, and also for just a little bit of scarifying the land, get one of these tiller. 3-pronged tiller. I've also got a 5-pronged one, and that just like scrapes the ground back, you know, gets it for making trenches and stuff. Get it all sorted. So there's your tools. Another tool I've got, and this is another thing that people would do straight away, is use a rotavator on like grassland. That's no good. It's just going to churn the roots up and you'll just have a worse problem than what you started with. So get your spade out, then your fork, then rake it level, and then during the spring and summer get your hoe out and your little tiller thing. But this is what I was going to say. What a lot of people would just use a rotavator. Now that's not good. If your ground's weed free, fair enough, use the rotavator to till the ground, to get it into a good little growing medium, you know. But I've got this one here. This is me hand tiller. And it's a good little tool. Keeps you fit. But I got this off Ray when he got too old to use it. He's 84 now, so he's bought himself one of them mantis tillers. Now that's basically the same thing, but this keeps you fit at the same time. and I'll be demonstrating that when the time comes. But I do not use a rotavator if your ground's got just loads of roots in and stuff, because you'll be on a downward slope and you'll just get sickened. Like I say, this video is just for the beginners, really. I mean, who doesn't know how to use a spade? But I've found out that some people don't. And I've found out that a lot of people just think that cheapest is best. But it isn't. Don't buy cheap spades. Especially a spade, like I say, that it's going to be your friend for life. Look after your tools and they'll look after you. And like I say as well, obviously a fork comes in handy in the summer when you're digging out your potatoes. Get your potatoes out with a fork and then you rake back to the ground. Get it all sorted. So that's it basically, folks. I just thought I'd give you a little rundown of what tools you should have, and to remind people to look after them and not to buy cheap tools, and don't use a rotavator unless your ground's free of weeds. Okay, right, I'm going to finish my cuppa. I'm going to crack on. See you in a bit.